At Miami, former agent Kyra is monitoring her target's hideout. The kingpin is commanding a squad of soldiers, intensely searching for a man in another building. They break in with smoke grenades and search every room, but to no avail. The man approaches the window, wondering why intelligence was wrong, and that's when Kyra draws her sniper rifle, giving him a headshot from afar. On his computer, it turns out the squad was hunting Kyra's husband, Isaac. Meanwhile, former agent Isaac is caring for their 4-year-old son, KY. After putting on his hearing aid, Isaac hears KY ask if the scars on his body are from fighting bad guys. Isaac confirms and explains that Kyra is still out there fighting them. That's why she can't live with them. That night, after KY was asleep, Isaac listens to their wedding song, lost in memories of that momentous occasion. The next day, as he leaves home, Isaac notices a mysterious car driving by. He drives downtown with KY, who sings his father's favorite songs in the back. As Isaac tries to park, another car cuts him off and nearly causes an accident. The other driver merely hurls insults before speeding away. At the bank, Isaac discovers unreasonable withdrawal fees and starts arguing with an employee. While Isaac is distracted, KY wanders off. Suddenly, 3 robbers storm the building and fire shots into the ceiling, causing everyone to panic. As the robbers begin to subdue everyone, Isaac tries to call KY, but the boy is too terrified to move. A robber orders Isaac to step back, but he remains calm and asks him to at least let KY come to him. The robber points his gun at the boy, and Isaac tells his son to cover his ears and close his eyes. Isaac then removes his hearing aid, lunges forward, and swiftly takes down all the robbers with just a few moves, rescuing all the hostages. He picks up KY and leaves the building, realizing that security cameras recorded everything. Meanwhile, in Mexico, G7 Secretary General Jack watches the news and learns that the Inspector General's office will investigate his past as head of the CIA on suspicion of him being a spy. Just then, his assistant Patrick brings an important report. Kyra has eliminated another former agent of a team called Shadow Force. It turns out Jack was the one who commanded Shadow Force during his time at the CIA, sending them on dirty missions. Kyra and Isaac were once members of Shadow Force, but now Kyra is tasked with eliminating her former teammates. Of the original 12 members, only 5 remain. Patrick also informs Jack that Isaac was recorded by the bank's security camera. Reviewing the footage, Jack recognizes KY and understands that the couple left the team because Kyra was pregnant and they wanted to protect their son. Jack sends people to capture the couple and puts a $50 million bounty on their heads. In Spain, Agent Annie is watching her boyfriend and teammate, UNC, play basketball while receiving information about Jack through her earpiece. UNC becomes quite aggressive in an argument with another player, so Annie calls him back and reminds him that they must operate discreetly. It turns out both of them work for the Inspector General and are hunting down former members of Shadow Force. Just then, Annie also receives the footage from the bank. At the G7 Command Center, Jack meets with some of the world's most important leaders to discuss his scandal. He explains that 8 years ago, the US government asked him to lead a top-secret program called Shadow Force, specializing in covert missions worldwide. Agents Isaac and Kyra fell in love, but this violated the rules, so they left the organization. They carried extremely sensitive intelligence, so there had been a long-standing bounty on them. Due to the recent scandal, Jack doubled the bounty to expedite their elimination. Meanwhile, Isaac and KY have escaped to Colombia. After crossing the jungle, they arrive at an old, flooded cabin where they will hide for a while. Isaac ensures the place is empty before letting his son in. That night at dinner, KY asks Isaac why he takes off his hearing aid before fighting bad guys. Isaac explains that without noise, he can focus better. KY wants to know if his dad was ever a bad guy, and Isaac says that in the past, both he and Kyra were bad guys but thought they were good. But now, they only do what's right. In Miami, Kyra also receives the footage from the bank and is emotional seeing her son after a long time. She thinks back to a night 4 years ago when she was tending to Isaac's wounds. They had left the organization, but Jack's men were still pursuing them, putting KY in danger. Isaac wants to return to the team to protect his wife and child, but Kyra thinks it's a terrible idea. She reveals that Jack and she used to be friends with benefits. However, he fell in love with her and demanded more. Because she refused, he demoted her and sent her on increasingly dangerous missions. Since it was personal, she doubted that Isaac returning would appease Jack. That night, Kyra decides to take down the entire team and Jack, while Isaac hides with their son. Once all enemies are eliminated, she will reunite with her family, and they can live in peace. Back in the present, Kyra sends an encrypted message to Annie about the bank incident. and Annie agrees to help her. Annie informs UNC that they will abandon this mission and switch to finding Isaac, because after all, they were only tracking former agents to gather evidence against Jack, and Isaac could also provide that. In the middle of the night, Isaac wakes up hearing a noise. He searches the house with his gun in hand and sees wet footprints on the floor. Suddenly, someone lunges at him and disarms him. A fight breaks out. The intruder is Kyra, who scolds Isaac for blowing their cover and putting KY in danger as they continue to fight. They attack each other with every available object, furniture shattering until they discover KY has witnessed everything. At first, the boy doesn't recognize Kyra, but when she says she's his mother, he finally embraces her and says he missed her very much. Meanwhile, Jack has gathered the remaining members of Shadow Force at his home and announces the bounty on Kyra, and Isaac has doubled to 100 million. He also offers all the support they need to carry out the mission. Thanks to a spy named Avery, Jack has enough intelligence for the agents to find the fleeing couple. In the morning, Kyra is surprised to find her son sleepwalking. She tells Isaac that she has killed all the agents who got too close looking for him. But now Jack has officially reassembled the team and they will soon hunt down the couple. Isaac decides it's time to fight back. Kyra suggests they can ask Annie and UNC for help, but Isaac disagrees, pointing out that since those two work for the government, their hands will be tied. Another argument breaks out, and Isaac angrily walks away. A little later, the couple goes down to the basement to practice shooting. Kyra hits the bullseye, but Isaac is off by a few inches. He reminds his wife that he hasn't been active like her, and is rusty. However, Kyra continues to tease him, saying he was always a bad shot and showing a scar on her shoulder from one of his missed shots. After she leaves, Isaac fires again, and this time he hits the bullseye. Afterward, Isaac agrees to work with Annie and UNC, so Kyra shows him the powerful tactical vehicle she brought. They have to wait until Annie makes contact, so in the meantime, they must keep moving. Soon, Annie and UNC board a plane to Columbia. During the flight, Annie monitors a hidden camera she placed on a Shadow Force agent and notices he changes the subject from illegal activities to the weather. She wonders if someone tipped him off, but UNC thinks he's just trying to hide his identity. In the car, Kyra and KY sing Isaac's favorite song. However, they don't sing very well, so he has to turn off one of his hearing aids. As the car enters a foggy area, radar detects other vehicles following them. Kyra immediately hides KY in a secret compartment, telling the boy to wait patiently while his parents deal with some bad guys. She also gives the boy headphones so they can stay in communication. Now that KY is safe, Isaac starts driving faster. Enemies surround them from two sides. It turns out to be 6 men on motorcycles. They open fire with flares, shattering the car windows. One lands on the hood, and Isaac loses visibility for a moment, allowing another car to catch up to them. Suddenly, a truck barrels towards them and destroys the other car before ramming the couple's car from behind. As the motorcycles approach, the truck starts firing live rounds, so Kyra opens the sunroof and begins to return fire. After the truck rams their car again, Isaac has to accelerate even more. Kyra's bullets can't penetrate the truck's armor, so she fires a grenade instead, and the front of the truck catches fire. Isaac swerves aside, and the truck appears beside them, allowing Kyra to set the entire rear of the truck on fire. Immediately after, the truck explodes and Isaac drives around the explosion. Unfortunately, the road is blocked and many others are waiting for them with guns ready. A bullet destroys a tire, and the car starts sliding down the road until it reaches a hillside, where it rolls down and falls into the river. A while later, Jack's entire team is searching for bodies in the river. However, the family has escaped and is hiding in the forest. The trio moves to hide in an abandoned mine, and the couple agrees that there must have been an insider who revealed their location. Kyra tells Isaac that she always watches over them, and Isaac confirms he knows she once touched his neck in a crowd. The next morning, Isaac wakes up to find Kyra gone. Meanwhile, Jack is furious that his team hasn't found any bodies, which means the couple is still alive. He takes out his anger by hitting Patrick and Parker, who tried to defend themselves. However, Jack is still a formidable fighter and easily subdues them before firing both. Just then, Jack receives a call from Avery, who has information about Kyra and Isaac. Jack rehires Patrick and Parker and tells them to get going. On the plane, Jack is surprised to receive a call from Kyra and asks his people to trace the call. She offers to meet him on his private island so they can resolve the issue privately, but if he doesn't agree or continues to threaten her family, she will reveal all his secrets to the government. After Jack agrees to meet, Kyra throws her phone away and gets on a boat. On the street, Annie and UNC get into a car and are startled when Isaac appears in the back seat with a gun and KY beside him. Isaac thinks the couple revealed his location, but they swear they are on his side. The situation is tense, yet they can't help but laugh when KY demands music. Annie puts on a song for the boy before telling Isaac that they have been helping Kyra ever since she started her hunt years ago. They don't know where she is, but Isaac concludes that she wants to face Jack alone to protect their family. UNC and Annie agree to take Isaac and KY to their safe house. On the private island, Patrick and Parker ensure Kyra is unarmed before letting her meet Jack. She begins to flirt with him and gets close, requesting privacy, so Jack orders his men to leave the room. Kyra then pretends to be affectionate, only to snatch the gun he concealed in his jacket. Pushing Jack back, she fires until he falls. Patrick and Parker return upon hearing the shots, but she immediately forces them to their knees and drop their weapons. Unfortunately, Jack is fine because he is wearing a bulletproof vest under his shirt. When he recovers, his men surround Kyra and disarm her. She tries to run to the beach, but the Shadow Force agents immediately beat and apprehend her, allowing Jack to slap her. At the safe house, Isaac hears a knock at the door and moves to open it when the door suddenly explodes. Former Shadow Force agents storm in and punch Isaac before throwing him down the stairs. As he tries to get up, he is kicked in the chest and thrown downstairs. On the island, a tied-up Isaac is dropped next to Kyra, who is also tied up. Patrick and Parker are holding KY, who is taken to another room. Soon after, agents also bring a tied-up Annie and reveal that UNC's real name is Avery, meaning he was the insider all along. Jack rants about the couple's betrayal and says he wants to kill them in front of KY because the child could become a member of a new Shadow Force. Kyra cries as she tells the other agents how Jack abused his power to force her into a relationship and sent her on crazy missions. Just then, Patrick and Parker return without the child. They point their guns at Jack, revealing they are undercover government agents, and force the other bodyguards to drop their weapons. Annie laughs because she knew another team had been hunting Jack for a long time, but she didn't tell UNC because he had been acting suspiciously recently. When one of the Shadow Force agents tries to retrieve his weapon, Parker immediately shoots him in the head, causing Annie, Isaac, and Kyra to laugh. The other Shadow Force agents look at each other and grab their guns as one of them throws a grenade. The three heroes see this and dive for cover. A chaotic firefight erupts as everyone opens fire and Patrick is quickly shot down. Jack is shot in the back and has to run for cover. Annie jumps on an agent and stabs him with his own knife. Kyra and Isaac retrieve the weapons the bodyguards had dropped earlier and return fire with Parker, who was wounded in the hip when he runs out of ammunition. Then Annie brings him more ammo and asks for KY's location so she can save the boy while Parker handles Jack. UNC takes advantage of the chaos to escape with a bag of money. When Parker recovers, another agent attacks him and they begin to fight on the ground. They exchange many blows and the female agent stabs him, but now she is close enough for Parker to snatch her gun and shoot her in the head. In the room, another female agent sees that the situation is bad and leaves. Kyra notices a fallen guy has another grenade, so she shoots it to cause a big explosion. She and Isaac jump out while the last two agents are seriously wounded, so they also flee. When Jack comes out of cover, Parker tries to shoot him from behind and runs out of ammo again. Jack returns fire to take him down, but he also runs out of ammo and can't kill him, so he leaves. Meanwhile, UNC tries to get to the boat and finds KY, who calls him a bad guy. This distraction allows Annie to sneak up behind UNC and put him in a chokehold while telling KY to wait in the corner. Then Annie starts beating UNC, unaware that KY is still watching. Kyra finds the female agent in the house, and they shoot at each other before deciding to fight hand to hand. They crash through a wall and continue their battle on the wooden floor, exchanging a series of punches and kicks before Kyra gets a knife, uses it to stab her enemy in the neck, and then kicks her down. At the same time, Isaac finds two agents on the shore trying to escape and shoots at their money bag to lure them into pursuing him. He waits behind a wall and watches their shadows until they get close enough to open fire. A bullet hits a gas cylinder, and the explosion sets one agent on fire, throwing him into the sea. The other agent immediately flees. Then Isaac returns to the main room and finds Kyra and KY. Kyra wants to leave, but Isaac says they will be hunted again, so they need to end this once and for all by killing Jack. The couple leaves KY in Annie's care and rushes to the boat to chase Jack, who is on his private boat escaping with the last agent. The chase begins with both boats speeding and firing simultaneously. After several maneuvers, Jack starts ramming his boat into Kyra's, causing Isaac to fall. He holds onto the edge of the boat and fires a few more shots before climbing back aboard. Kyra joins the gunfire while also steering the boat, which distracts Jack. Soon after, his boat crashes into another vessel, and the impact sends it flying onto shore, where it explodes on impact. Fearing their enemy might have escaped the explosion, the couple also goes ashore to search for them. Isaac enters the jungle and finds the last agent. After a few shots, they begin to fight hand to hand. There is a lot of grappling, and the agent even throws Isaac into a tree. But he never gives up and continues to fight, which forces the agent to draw a sword. Isaac removes his hearing aid, which helps him fight more effectively and take down the other guy, who is stabbed to death. Nearby, a wedding party is taking place, so Jack storms in and fires at the ceiling, causing the crowd to scatter. Kyra hears the gunshots and screams and follows them to the wedding venue, where she finds Jack drinking. He fires at the decorations to cause a small explosion that knocks Kyra back. She quickly recovers and begins fighting Jack, a very skilled combatant who manages to subdue her after much effort. Just then, Isaac arrives and doesn't hear Kyra's warning, so when he turns, he sees Jack holding her hostage. Kyra continues to speak until she makes him hear the word "listen," which prompts him to put his gun away. He also puts on his hearing aid and discovers that their wedding song is playing on the speakers. Kyra then looks at her shoulder as a signal for him to fire. Isaac shoots Jack through his wife's shoulder, and Kyra is freed, so she takes the opportunity to shoot him. As Jack's body falls into the pool, the couple reunites with a kiss. 6 months later, KY has a normal birthday party. Kyra receives a call from Annie, who has quit her government job and plans to start a better version of Shadow Force based on integrity. She invites the couple to join, but Kyra only says, "Maybe someday." Afterward, Isaac rests his head on Kyra's lap and is overjoyed to learn she is pregnant. My story ends here. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications.